Hello and welcome everyone. This is a major review. My name is Jacob Lee. This is a podcast for those who are looking for advice for their career, their students who are kind of exploring and need some more advice. And so today I have with me one of my professors. This is Greg Anderson. Thank you for coming, Greg.
My pleasure.
So can you give me just a little brief synopsis about who you are and what you do?
I've been at BYU for 13 years now in the Information Systems Department. I'm the Associate Chair of the department and also the Director of the Junior Corps and Chair of the admissions process for getting into the major. Before BYU, I came from Weber State University and I was Chair of Computer Science for 9 years there and faculty. And then before that, I ran my own software consulting company full-time for 6 years. It's still running. And before that, I was a software engineer at multiple companies. So I've been around and been doing this for a long time in the tech world, seen a lot of changes.
I think it's really cool how you have, I feel like you have a very well-rounded career. You've been in academia and you've been in commercial, and so you have a lot of experience.
Well, I never had a desire to be in academia. Well, I guess I take that back. I changed my major 6 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to be a veterinarian.
Really?
Because I loved animals, and then I thought, well, let's be a chiropractor instead, because I used to work for a chiropractor, just janitorial stuff before the mission. Went on the mission, came back, and I thought I'm going to be a high school music teacher. And my mother wisely convinced me that maybe a different route would be better. So I thought I'll be a seminary teacher because that's where the money is, right? And so I even went and taught one day up at a high school and made $50 for the entire day.
Nice.
And it was a great experience, but I just thought $50, not to mention the hour drive to get there and back. And so then I changed it to business, but I'd always had this attraction to technology, even when I was a junior in high school. I went up to a community college and took a programming class. And so then I jumped into information systems, which was a brand new major back at the time. But I always liked math, even though I never did any homework. I liked math, and so that geared me more towards computer science. And then by then my wife said, can you just graduate, after changing my major 6 times? And
yeah, how long were you in school then?
Forever. Yeah, my very first year of college was 1981, and then I went on my mission, and then came back 1984 to 89. But I had to finish my last 2 years night school because I got married and we had to have food.
Fair enough.
And so my wife and I both worked part-time while we were in school, and while she was doing her degree also in nursing. And when I finished graduating, I swore I'd never go back to school again. Never. I just thought, no, I don't need this. I have a degree now, and I have a job. I don't need any more school. And then 10 years later, when I started my own company, I realized I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's a good revelation to have, I guess.
It taught me well. So I did an MBA with an emphasis in information systems, and that helped me do my company. And by then, Weber State University was saying, come teach for us. And I kept saying, you can't afford me. And finally, they sort of could afford me. So I went ahead and took that job because I figured, well, you guys can pay for my life insurance, health insurance, retirement, and I'll just have my company running on the side. Just
That's
doing
a good gig there, I'd say.
little things here
Yeah.
and there, but kept that running part-time. And then I found out I liked academia. So I did another half a master's degree in information security, and then I did a PhD in technology management while I was actually teaching at Weber State.
Wow,
I
that's
worked
really
on
cool.
a PhD.
So in total, how long were you in school for then?
My wife would say my entire life. But let's see. The MBA took me 2 years, almost 3, because it was part-time. And then the associate's degree, or the graduate certificate, took another year. And then the PhD, I pumped through that fast, that took me about a little over 3 years.
Wow.
So that's what, almost six,
Yeah.
7 more years after the bachelor's degree.
Wow. That's cool. So when you graduated with your bachelor's degree, did you intend to start your own company, or how did
No.
No?
No, I felt like I was an idiot, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do. All I knew is I have a computer science degree with an IS minor, and I wanted to get a job. But I also lacked confidence, thinking that if anybody would hire me, that would be a miracle, because you look at everybody else around you and you have this feeling of I'm the dumb one and everybody else is smart. This feeling of inadequacy, and our students even have that at BYU. And they feel like even though they can do everything, they feel like they can't do it well enough compared to everybody else. And we need to overcome that. I ended up taking a job for a company where I flew all over the nation for 3 years, 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. And I would fly into a hotel, and then major companies would send their employees to where I was at for a week to 2 weeks, and I would teach them how to write code. And at the same time, I became a contributing editor on a couple of industry magazines, and I was speaking at worldwide conferences. And that company and that boss of that company gave me the confidence to think, why not? Just try it. And if it doesn't work, you try something else. And so when that company actually went out of business, I thought, I can do this. And I think I can do it right, the way I think it should be done. And it worked. You have to have a very supporting partner. Luckily my wife was on board, because it's stressful running your own company. You're working 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. Same time, you can take off and go to school lunch with your kids. I don't know if that's a bonus or not to have school lunch, but being with your kids is a bonus. You can coach baseball and soccer and go to all the dance recitals. And, it's a nice flexible schedule when you own your own business, but it also means when everybody else goes to bed, you're probably still working. And when you go on vacation, you're still working.
Still working.
They have fun, and you come back to the hotel and work. But never once thought I would do this.
Do you have any regrets?
I regret I wasn't more brave in hiring. I only hired contractors when I needed help. And a friend of mine started his own company, a vehicle rental company. And I remember once he told me, because I struggled with this whole concept of hiring somebody, and if you don't have work, you got to lay them off, and I didn't like that. And he said, you have to look at people as resources. You hire them when you need them, you fire them when you don't. And I struggle with that concept. I still do. I just don't like that. But I think as long as expectations were set and a clear communication path was made, where you hire somebody and say, now this project only goes for this long, once it's over, we're going to either have to find you a different job, or maybe we can find more work. I should have been more brave to do that. But it all worked out. I'm where I'm supposed to be. You have to just let God direct you. So do I have any regrets? A little bit of that one. But other than that, no, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. It took me a while to figure it out. So I guess that's one thing I would tell people graduating too, that especially in IS, information systems, if you graduate and you think, I don't know what I want to do yet. Do I want to be a software developer? Do I want to do database? Do I want to do security, product management, project management, data analytics? You don't have to know. You just go out there, you start working, and it'll come to you. It's like dating. Usually it's not the very first girl you date and you go, yep, this is the one. But as you go on dates, you think, oh, I like this attribute. I like this. I don't like this. And that's the way it works in industry when trying to find the real career you want to do. You just got to be patient. You got to kick a lot of tires, try a lot of jobs, see what you like and don't like.
When did you feel like you had found what you were supposed to do?
About 5 years after graduating from college. The company that hired me to fly all over the nation and do educational conferences teaching people how to do software development, I found out that I liked it, number one, and I was told that I was good at it. Which, I mean, you want to do what you're good at, or that you can become good at. And once I started doing that, I saw that maybe this is something that I could do and change the world and make a difference by helping other people become better at what they want to do. And so it's about 5 years. Before that, I just struggled. There were times where I thought, wow, these people should probably fire me because I have no idea what I'm doing, really. And I make mistakes, and they're patient. And do I enjoy going to work? Yeah, I like being with the people. Did I like what I was doing? It was okay. It was fine. But you really want to find what your passion is. Now, your passion has to also pay the bills. Especially if you have a family, you've got to work hard and pay the bills. Sometimes you have to do a job for a while you don't like to help you find the job that you love. So don't expect it to happen immediately. I mean, for me, 5 years. And then really, even after that, running my own company, I enjoyed that. It was great. We did well. But it was when I actually started teaching in academia that I really found my passion. And so that was like 12 years after graduating. So I guess just be patient.
It sounds like it's quite a journey.
It is. Yeah, you just got to be patient. There's going to be bad times. There's going to be good times. And you want to get to the best times.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about like the purpose of at least an undergraduate degree. And it really just feels like it's a launch pad, right? It launches you into your first big opportunity. And it seems to align really with what you're saying there. Is your goal is just keep trying things until you figure out something that you're passionate about, something that can pay the bills.
Well, and there's people nowadays that are saying college degrees are not needed. They're not worth it. I mean, BYU is a great deal. It is a very, very inexpensive way to get a college degree. And is it true in the tech world you don't have to have a college degree? Maybe you go to a dev school or something like that. Yeah, you can do that. Is it gonna help? Will it help you get a job? Sure. Will it set you up to move into leadership? Possibly. Will it make you a well-rounded individual? No. And I remember that about college. Why do I have to take all these general education classes that I hate, that I think is a waste of time? And everybody said it makes you well-rounded, and and you're like, I don't want to be well-rounded. I just want to do what I love, get my degree, and get out. And I look back on my general ed, and there were some I loved, some I didn't. I had a philosophy class, and believe it or not, I thought I'd hate it, and I ended up loving it. My favorite general education class ever. Has it helped me in my life? Yeah, because it's been able to allow me to have conversations with other people that I would never have a conversation with. Do I have to just talk tech the entire time with people? No, that's going to bore them. That's going to limit my ability to talk to people, especially in a consulting world. You want to be able to go to somebody and be well-rounded enough to talk about things that are of interest of them. Do you need a degree nowadays? I personally think, yes, it's worth it. I'd do it again. Because when layoffs come, what I've usually seen is who are the first people to go. A lot of times it's the really high-paid older individuals, although they claim they're not getting rid of the high-paid older. Usually that happens, but then I also see that a lot of times it's those without a degree. Maybe that's a mistake. I don't know, but that's usually what happens. And then it's the bachelor's degree. The ones with the masters are usually kept on a little bit longer. It's a weird process that I've seen. Is education worth it? Absolutely. And not only that, but it sets the example for someday when you have children, that you need them to become well-rounded. I mean, we're taught in our church that everything that we learn we'll take with us. Don't we want to learn as much as possible then about everything? You know, I often joke that for my 1,000,000th anniversary, I want to get my wife a universe. Now, how am I going to do that with a tech degree? I don't know. Maybe a VR universe. I don't know. But maybe, you know, all the engineering aspects or science or botany or, you know, all these other aspects that you can learn will help you in the eternities someday.
Maybe our lives here are a launch pad for our careers in the eternities.
I like that. Yeah.
Like your tech degree, well, it may not be everything you need to know, but it's a great start because it teaches you how to learn.
And you know what? That's what college really does, especially tech degrees. They teach you to problem solve. That's the whole purpose. I remember when I was at a different university, computer science, students had to do a whole bunch of math. Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, linear algebra, differential equations, physics. And I kept thinking, do you not know how hard it is to do all this math and struggle? And industry would say yes. And I would say, when are they going to use their calculus? And they would say, never. Then why? And they said, because it teaches them to problem solve. And that's what a tech degree does. And can you imagine the ability to problem solve in maybe a church calling, maybe in church administration, maybe in running a company, maybe in a marriage, maybe in dealing with your children, maybe on a mission, maybe in building a universe? Problem-solving skills are learned throughout your educational experience. Can you get them without an educational experience? Sure. But that's the whole purpose, I think, of our program, is we teach you how to learn, especially in an industry where once you graduate, a lot of the technologies you learned are probably old. But then you go out and you learn the new technology because you've already learned how to learn. And that's why they pay our students really good money when they graduate, because they can continue to learn.
Let's talk a little bit more about the IS program at BYU.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier some of the careers that are available. What are some other career options that you can
Well,
get?
and first, you know, when you go and look at careers out there and you see the job posting for a tech degree, what is usually, maybe you know this, Jacob, what is the degree that's always posted?
Would you say, is it computer science?
It is computer science.
Yeah.
That's the chosen major. And it's a great major. And BYU does a fine job with that too. And then they say or related. Well, we're the related major. We smell like computer science, but we taste like business. And that's the difference with IS compared to CS.
Yeah.
CS is very technical, a lot of theory. They'll interact a lot with hardware, whereas information systems interacts a lot with people. So if you like people and you like tech, information systems is a great major that allows you to incorporate both. Jobs that you can do with it, software developer. If you like to write software, great. Now some people say those jobs are disappearing because of AI. There will be some jobs that will be eliminated because of AI in software development. However, what I see happening is AI will be a tool that software developers will use to enhance their job. A couple years ago, I spoke with one of the top AI researchers at the Turing Institute in London, And I asked him, is AI going to wipe out all the software developer jobs? He said, absolutely not. There is no way this could happen. But will it be a tool that we use to be more productive? Absolutely. So software developer, you write software to solve problems for organizations. Data analytics. Why do we put the bicycle tires next to the bikes? Well, that's a dumb one. That makes sense, right? Why do we put candy at the front of the registers when somebody checks out of the grocery store? Because as we're going through, we look at it and we go, I just want a little snack because I've been going forever. Or the kids, can I have this? Can I have this? Smart placement. Why do we use analytics in sports? My son did a sports analytics class once at BYU and actually did a project. Is it better to take a 3-point shot or a 2-point shot in the last 5 minutes of a basketball game? Live and die by the 3, right? Luckily, BYU's doing pretty good by the 3 in their basketball games. They do really well. And we use analytics in sports all the time. We use analytics to drive companies. What should we do? What products should we make? Who do we market it to? So data analytics is another one. Security, huge in the industry and getting bigger and bigger. Information systems, great.
What advantage does the information systems give you in a data security role versus doing a cybersecurity degree?
Well, the way our program is structured is we have a couple security classes in the bachelor's degree, but then in the master's degree, you can actually do a cybersecurity track.
Oh, cool.
So in that situation, you have a business degree with a cybersecurity emphasis, which anytime you can have business, that's great. Now, would it be better to do cybersecurity if you're going to go work for NSA and the government? Probably, because you have more of an engineering CS type background. What if you want to go work for Microsoft and work on their security team? Well, then it makes sense to have a business background also because you're working within a corporation. So there is an advantage to that, pursuing security from a business standpoint.
That's really interesting. And it sounds like that also applies, you kind of mentioned this earlier with the CS degree. I have a lot of friends who've graduated with IS degrees, and they've mentioned that it's kind of getting competitive for tech jobs and the competitions between IS and computer
It depends on
science.
the IS program. I was on a committee. There were 11 of us on this committee around the world that defined the curriculum for information systems. And BYU's information systems curriculum is very rigorous and very technical. Just like any university or any degree, some institutions offer better degrees than other institutions based upon the curriculum they have. In an information systems degree at BYU, it is extremely technical without theoretical background. In CS, you do a lot of theory with technical. In information systems at BYU, we do very technical but applied technical. And so within your first year of the information systems degree, including the prereq, you'll do an introduction to information systems, which includes the basics of Visual Basic Application, VBA, controlling Excel with programming, the basics of SQL, the basics of analytics with Tableau, the basics of web design with HTML, CSS, and then you have to take a prereq programming class. And you can either take CS 111, which is a Python class, and they get quite technical in there, and great class, or you could do IS 303, which is also a Python class. And in our Python class, we teach you all the structures of programming, and then also teach you how to interact with Excel, because Microsoft is even moving towards Python with Excel. We teach you how to web scrape. We teach you how to interact with database, and that's something IS is really good with, interacting with databases. That's more of a business application. And then once you get in the core, you've already learned Python, so now you'll do your first full stack development class using JavaScript Node Express, and you'll take a full semester of database. So you'll learn database SQL very in depth, including joins, inner joins, subqueries, and data manipulation and data definition, creating databases with statements. You'll do a security class and that first semester, and you'll also do a network security or a networking class where you have to understand how the network behind the scenes is working. And that was a flaw that I had in my computer science program at a different institution. I didn't know how the network interacted with what I wanted to do. And then the next semester you take another security class, and then you'll do project management, which also includes product management. You'll do an advanced data analytics course with Python, and you will do another full stack class with ASP.NET using C#. That is a really technical program for 1 year, just 1 year.
Wow.
And then on top of that, you'll be able to take electives to finish that bachelor's degree, along with business classes, ethics, HR, org behavior, global supply chain. And of course, you've done your other business classes, your accounting, finance, marketing. And then if you want, for 1 more year, and if you get accepted, you could do a master's degree in IS. And that's where it's really your last senior year plus 1 more year, you get to specialize in what you want to do. So whether it's software development, database, security, analytics, product management, you get to go and specialize and take more courses. So it's a heavy tech degree for a business degree.
That's really cool, though. It sounds like there's so many opportunities that will open up.
Really, really strong skills. The nice thing about information systems is it opens many doors to different types of jobs. And having any tech skills like that, you can go get any business job because you're strong in tech now, and apply those tech skills with whatever you want to do. Sales. We have a lot of our students that go into sales because they have a strong tech background.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sold. That sounds really interesting, and I like how skill-based everything is.
Very skill-based. Yep.
I think it's very applicable, and that's very useful to be able to apply to your career.
Yeah, hands-on learning, which is what we do, hands-on learning is a great way to reinforce the actual skills. The other thing we do in our program is that for that whole first year of your junior core, you're going to be in a group. And we build these groups based upon personalities, which is based upon some research that myself and other professors have done at BYU. A widely accepted paper out there in the information systems community. And so we build your team based upon common personality the first semester. And we've proven that productivity will go up. Not to mention you'll have more fun, but productivity goes up, learning goes up. And then the second semester, we do a diverse group. And students love the fact that they're in a team. They have a built-in friendship network. They have a built-in mentor group that they can help each other. And it's so successful that we have students saying things like, we should move to the same city when we graduate, and our children should marry each other.
That's awesome.
So it's a very tight group. You really build good friendships in this major, which is excellent for the tech world. Because how do you get jobs in the tech world? Networking.
Yeah, it's all about the network.
All about network. It is.
That sounds a really, really cool system. It sounds like it's very well thought out, and it sounds like it's very successful as well. That's awesome. So we only have a couple more minutes left. Do you have any advice for people who are looking to apply to the program?
You have to love doing this because it's hard. We are a very hard program. It's competitive to get into our program. We don't apologize for making our program hard. Hard things are worth it. So make sure you've done well in those 2 courses. A lot of people stress about their grade in our accounting course because that's a prereq also. We're not worried about that. That one has not been shown to really affect how successful you can be in our program. Here's the big kicker though. After you've done everything that you can do, you've worked on your GPA, you've worked on your last 30 credits. That's important too, because a lot of us screw off our first year in college. And then we go on a mission, then we come back and we go, oh, wow, I guess I should study. I should do homework. And that's why we look at the last 30 credits, because people can change. We always believe people can change. But after you've done all these things and you've submitted your application to the program, will you just pray and tell Heavenly Father what you want? But most importantly, will you just say, but only let me get into the program if I'm really supposed to get into the program? Because maybe there's a different major that is where you're going to really find your happiness. Or maybe if you don't get admitted, maybe there was something else you had to learn. We have people that reapply to our program, and we make a point to look at our second-time appliers first. And I usually talk with them when they don't get admitted the first time, and I say, here's a plan. Make sure you follow this plan. And if they follow that plan, we like that, because we do believe in second chances for people. But you really need to trust in your Heavenly Father that He knows what is right for you. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get into the program. And I've had people come back and say, Brother Anderson, remember when I didn't get in the program? And I want to say, yes, I remember the crying, the hurt. I remember all those bad feelings you felt. Well, I majored in this, and I am so happy. Everything's worked out perfectly. And I thought, isn't that the way God works? Sometimes we don't get what we want, but if we trust God, we really end up getting what we want.
That is some phenomenal advice. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Well, is there any other last words you'd like to share?
Good luck. Work hard. Be responsible. Try your best. Academics matter. The grade matters, but we would rather you focus on the learning, because if you focus on learning, the grade just happens.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.